All right, so a little different. Obviously, the Trent up here, my wingtips and all that stuff. To be honest with you, I look terrible in a baseball uniform. When I put it on, the kids start making fun of me. I wore high socks to one game. I didn't even make it to the game. I wore high socks, and I got real bad chicken legs. And you talk about getting your team loose. Get me in high socks, and it'll be a laugh fest. So I also went to Georgia Southern, played there for 2 years. And transferred to the Citadel, and at the Citadel we weren't allowed to wear hats inside, like that's the whole core and stuff like that. And our coach was on it. I still get on our guys and all. It's so old habits are hard to break. Although when I see a lot of guys, when I've known them coaching in a hat, and then they see me and they're like, "Man, you got a lot of gray hair." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got 2 daughters that are 12 and 14, so that gray hair is really coming along." A couple of things about catching, and this is in general for me, and I think for us at Bishop England. You know, years ago I used to be a guy who was do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. I don't do that hardly at all anymore. And the way that I learned catching, which held back then, I had Fred Jordan as my high school baseball coach. He was my quarterback's coach when we were in football, and he ended up being my college coach. He knew nothing about catching. And he just went, go back there and, you know, we'll throw 8 million balls at you to block, and good luck. And I got a buddy who played at Georgetown, and I played with him at the Citadel, and he used to make fun of me about how I caught. I was lucky enough to get a college scholarship to catch, but damn, I look bad. If you could see a picture of it, it is horrible compared to, you know, how we're coaching our guys. I was thinking last night, in 15 years of being a head coach at Bishop England, we've only had 2 catchers who have not played in college. One of them is this year, and he could probably play somewhere small, but damn, he's smart. He told me yesterday he's trying to go to Duke, and you know he's got probably a pretty good chance of getting into Duke. He's already in a billion different schools. The other one was a football guy, wrestling guy, baseball guy. He ended up wrestling at the Citadel and is a sergeant over in Hawaii right now. He was an Army scholarship guy. Those 2 guys are really what I'm going to talk about more than the guys that played at the next level. We don't get catchers anymore. The kid that's starting for us right now started, I think, all games, but maybe 2 last year. He never caught before his sophomore year at Bishop England. He was a third baseman or right fielder. Really wasn't really much of a baseball player at all. He plays football for us. We don't have the toughest guys at all, even our football program. But football guys, to me, equate well as catchers. I'm just going to turn guys into catchers if they're football guys. We were talking earlier, our coaches, about who we can make into catchers, because we don't have any in our program. No one comes to Bishop England, or they haven't in the last handful of years, and said, yeah, I'm a catcher. None of them. But if they play football, I'm going to say, hey, what do you think about catching? Because you can play right away. The kid that's our starter this year, last year, I said, hey, look here, if you catch, you'll start every single game. And he didn't want to catch. And so I said, think about it, come to me tomorrow. If you don't want to catch, we'll figure out the next guy who could do it. And he came back and he said, yeah, I want to play. And so I said, all right, you're a catcher. And so for all of those guys, this is more about the drills that we do every single day. Okay, 10 minutes of defensive basics every single day. We have a heavy day, we have a light day. A heavy day is, you know, beating the hell out of them. It's not like when I was younger and at the Citadel and they took the jugs machine and they turned it upside down and they put, you know, remember those old balls that just were like plastic inside them? So Freddie would say, hey, rip the cover off all those balls, and we'd get in the grass and they'd shoot those things at 100 miles per hour, and you just get the hell beat out of you the whole time. Doesn't work as much anymore, in my opinion, because kids will go, how the hell with that? I don't want to play that. You already got the tools of ignorance on. You beat the hell out of me every day, and no thanks. I'd rather go pitch or play outfield or somewhere where, you know, that's not going to happen every day. So on our heavy days, for us, it is a lot of blocking, okay? And there's a progression. Every single thing that we do is a progression. So in that 10-minute frame, I'm not going to get through all of the things that I'm going to show you. Every single day, we start out with a transfer drill. Every day they come, the youngest guy's got to go get the catching balls. The catching balls are still those balls that they used to beat the hell out of us with. That's the end of the line of balls, right? So there's a progression of how the balls go. There's a bucket, and if you looked at it, you would be like, damn, what in the hell are they doing with them? There's mold growing on them, all kind of stuff. They've got no covers on them. If a ball has a cover on it, it is not allowed to be a catcher's ball. Okay, so there's no cover. So we got a young guy who goes and gets the catcher's balls for our drills. They transfer drills. So a lot of things that Trent was just talking about, we do the exact same stuff with catchers. The exact same thing. So I just got this little dude, and y'all probably all use these things. Our starting guy doesn't receive real well, so he's going to get to know this this little glove. But we just go in and out 20 times. And so tomorrow, I'll work with a 10-year-old kid. My nephew's 12. When they come down from Greenville, I work with him. And we do all these same drills, okay? And so if a guy can't get that four-seam deal, like Trent was just talking about, I'll have them do it, and they'll look at it just like this the whole time. But those guys are going to do 20 transfers, and I tell them, it's like old quarterback stuff where they used to tell you to put the ball on the shelf and all that stuff. They have to do this every time. So their elbows have to be up the entire time. And when we get to throwing stuff, it'll make a little bit more sense for me. Also, I'm getting their shoulders warmed up as we do that transfer drill. So 20 of those every time. So that dude's running down to the container to get those balls. Everyone else has got the only balls that we have that have covers on them. They're doing their 20 transfers. Okay, when we move from there, everything depends on how many catchers we have. I told you we don't have guys that come and say, hey, I'm a catcher. So right now, 0 of the guys in our program who are catchers came to us as catchers. Okay, but there might be 5 to 7 of those guys that we make, you have to come be a catcher. And so after that, we go to our drill station, and it's all progression. So I know it's a little bit harder to see up here what I'm going to do, and you've probably all seen this. So we set 3 balls up. Okay? It's a 6 feet box. Damn, I was slow as hell when I was in high school, and Freddie George used to tell me all I got to do is be quick in a 6-foot box. Okay? And so they have this in front of them. I control one of the groups. Okay? So I have the last group, or whoever starts first with me. That's the end of the line now. I control that group. Everyone else is paired up. If it's an even number, then one dude's on his own. We'll talk about that. They're either doing a ladder drill or a T drill, I drill, whatever you want to call it. I've actually moved on from that a little bit and created something else off of that. They are doing perfect blocks here. Where do they all suck at blocking? To their right-hand side. Why? I'm pushing off my left foot, right? And so they suck. The 2 catchers at the Citadel right now, one of them played for us. One is my best friend from high school's son, who I worked with since he was in the 5th grade. And he comes to me, and I can't block that way, I can't block that way, I can't block that way. Just like, I believe it was either Trent or Coach Leggett who had it up there about working on your weakness more than your strength. So we're going to block to our right a whole hell of a lot, because most of them are weak that way. So they're doing 3 blocks. That's it. We don't do any more than 3s. Now I said the other night I got ADD and OCD and all that stuff. 3s are our magic number, and everything we do pretty much would catch it. Okay? So I'm going to block this first one. I'm sitting on a bucket right in front of this dude. He's going to block it. He takes his time. He knows this is the one I'm going to. He's going to block it. He's going to sit there. He's going to get in a perfect block position, and then he's going to stretch. And so he's going to try to take his ass and put it all the way on the ground. And it's funny because, they're not very flexible. They're like me. And so they can't do it. And so they're stretching out. Now he's going to go. I said, all right, which way are you going? He points where he's going. And so he's going to focus. He gets that leg. He's like, okay, I got to push. I'm heavy foot, light foot, all that good stuff. I coach receivers and linebackers in football. And so we're heavy foot, light foot on a lot of things. So, one of the catcher right now is one of our receivers. He's a receiver and a safety. So he's used to be heavy foot, light foot on everything. So he's going to block that. Boom, it's going to be good. Good, that's good. All right, stretch. Boom, that's good. All right, stretch. That's every dude. So these two guys are paired up over here as well, right? One guy is just monitoring the other guy. This guy's actively doing. They only do 2 active stations in a row. And that is the guy right before me and to me, because I sure as hell ain't doing it anymore. Okay? So they go from that guy to here. Same thing. So they get it depending on how many catchers we have. They're going to get it everything at least twice. More often than not, they're going to get it 3 times. Okay, so they've gone through this block. Now a mirror blocking drill. So this is the one, I hated this when I was young more than anything. Because Coach Jordan didn't have issues with odd numbers and things like that. He just did it until he felt like, you know, that guy was going to throw up. So they come to me the next time, I'm pointing them out, and as fast as hell, and I don't really care what it looks like. It's all a speed drill. The first one is to teach them, you know, how to do it properly. The second one is I want you to be fast as hell when you do this. Now, here's the problem, is the first thing they do is they pop up to go block. If you get beat by a 5-hole, and there's another thing I'm going to talk about when something, there are 2 times I get pretty pissed off. If you get beat 5-hole, I'm really, really pissed off. Because that's nothing more than you doing something that we've worked on all the time incorrectly. Physical mistake, yeah, I get it. But that is created by mentally not doing the things that we always do. Okay, so they're trying to get fast as they can get from one to the next. I'm pointing, right? There's 3 of them, that's it. They know that. All I got to be is fast and quick as hell in these 3. Then they're done. They go through that whole deal, right? We scoop these up. They're done with these. Now we're getting active. And they know these heavy days, they're going to block more than any other time. So everything, like Trent was talking about, everything that we do is going to go from what I call just you having pretty much total control, you lose a little bit of control, and then you have 0 control over it. In catching drill and throwing drill, everything we do. I work with our catchers, right? There are only 3 of us that work at the school that coach baseball at Bishop England, and we're all varsity catchers. And a lot of it's dictated by our pitching coach and what he needs and what we do for catchers. Last year, every day during the 10-minute period, we worked catchers. This year, it might not happen because the guy who probably should be our starting catcher is going to probably have to be our starting shortstop. And then next year, he'll move and he'll be our starting catcher. Okay? So, I'm controlling all this stuff. So I have directional blocks next. And so the next couple of phases are all going to be directional stuff. So I'm going to stand, you know, I don't know, 10, 15 feet away from the dude. And I'm going to say, all right, here it is, it's a block middle. Boom, he blocks it. Now, we progress off of all these also with a block and pounce is all I'll say. All right, you got block and pounce today. And when I throw it, he's got to come up and he's got to go. I'm either telling me it's a 1, this is a block third strike. It's a 2, this is a block guy's going to second. Or it's a 3, this is a block guy's going to third. And they're setting up. And that's another thing. So that's all similar to your bunt stuff and all that. Those are light day things, which I probably won't get into all of that. It's so basic. So they've all gone through that. They've only blocked 3, and I'm not throwing it very hard at all. I'm literally just flipping it in there. You can even go, like I work with real young kids, and I'll go one knee and just toss it in there short hop for them. When they go through that, we start to back up a little bit. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of juice. It just depends on how pissed off I am that day, if I'm throwing the hell out of it or not. Made the mistake to do the fungo thing once. I did it once and almost killed the kid and said, okay, we'll probably need to shut that one down. And so I'm just going to throw it in there. Now, what I've learned, and hell, it took me a lot of years to figure this out, I'm not real good at always hitting the spot that I'm telling him to go once I get back and I start really going after. So if I'm giving him a left block, I just walk to my right and I can really get it out there. And it creates what we want, is the ball to get away, so they got to throw it that outside shoulder, right, to get it back to the middle. And so with young guys, and we do all this blockings on grass. And so that sucks because you really got to work, because the first thing you'll find out is the guy doesn't get this out there and he goes, boom, straight over. Right? And so the grass teaches them really how to open up and get themselves over there. Again, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, what I tell them when we're done with everything is I don't really give a damn what you do. block the ball if it gets in the dirt, right? I don't care. I don't care what you do. If you dive over there, I mean, I don't care. You know, I played at Stratford. We were real good back then, and Danny knows. I mean, he's a little bit older than me. But we came through there, and I'm a catcher. I never was a catcher. I was a pitcher, third baseman, middle infielder, and an outfielder. And they said, you know, our catcher got hurt. Freddie Jordan was with my father, and my father said, oh yeah, Mike's a catcher. Never caught before in my life, Dad. What the hell are you talking about? And he said, hey, you want to play, don't you? And I said, yes, sir. And Coach Jordan said, I heard you're a catcher. And I said, well, he goes, you want to play? And I said, yes, sir. And so we played, you know, we had two guys that could really throw. I remember blocking a ball barehanded. It was over there. This guy threw in the 90s. I couldn't get over there. I just went like that, and the damn thing stuck to my hand. I went out to visit him because I couldn't feel my hand. All I could feel was stinging and pain. I wanted to cry. And from that day forth, I thought, well, I didn't do anything that I was kind of taught to do, but the job got done, right? So that's our motto at the end of the day. I don't care what you do, block that damn ball. Okay? So now we get game-wise, and it gets a lot easier. We stop telling them where it is, right? So the ones that I'm pissed and I'm really getting into it, they know where it's coming still, so they're like, okay, at least I can get in front of it, maybe take it into chest protector and not all over my arms and whatnot. So then I go to 60 feet-ish. And I'm back there, and hell, I'm old, and I don't throw nearly as hard as I used to, so I'm like, okay, these are blocks. That's it, they're blocks, and I'm crow hopping, and I'm giving them everything I can, and I'm just throwing them. They get 3, that's it. Now we're going to come in 45. Then we're going to come into about 30. And I'm still, you know, giving it something. But it's tough. It's blocks, and they're not going to be middle blocks, and they're going all over. Then you kind of challenge guys, like Trent was talking about, right? Kids inherently want to get better. They sure as hell want to get better when they're out there with you, right? In front of you, you showing them, and they're trying to prove you wrong. So I'm going to get as close as I possibly can with no blocks. You've got to let them know, hey, look here. This is a thing where you can't, the minute you see the frustration in that they're just getting beat every single time, you got to kind of shut it down and go, okay, well, next time we get together, just remember, we were 10 feet away, and you couldn't get any of them, so let's try to get to there or beat that next time. All right, from there on our heavy days, and again, this takes way more than the 10 minutes that we have allotted. We just have to remember where we are when we come back to a heavy day, because it always progresses. We never go back to the beginning except those blocks where they're stretching out. So then we do 50-50 balls. This one gets fun when you get in close because they'll fail all the time because they'll cheat. Again, it's just like Trent was talking about when you know, he knows the ball's going there and he takes off before him. So I'm giving him now 3 balls, and you know, 2 of them are going to be something, 1 of them is going to be something else. So you got to think a little bit because you can't let them know exactly what the last one's going to be, right? And so all I'm doing is I'm at 60 and I'm throwing and I'm letting it rip, and it's either going to be a framed ball or it's going to be a blocked ball. And so then it goes 45 and it moves itself in. All right, same concept, all the same thing. Now, what we do as a finisher every one of those days is a edge of the dirt to foul pole block and back. And so it's twofold. It's conditioning as hell. Unless you play in a bandbox or something, it's not nearly as bad. But if you play in a normal place, or you play in a place that's got, you know, we do all our stuff from the left field line. If it's pretty deep there, now all they're doing is they're facing the outfield, and they're blocking left, and they're blocking left, and they're blocking left, and they're blocking left, until they get all the way to the foul pole. And then they're blocking right, and they're blocking right, and they're blocking right. It's twofold. It's conditioning, A. But B, it teaches them to push like hell off of that because they'd rather do it in, you know, 20 of them than they do it in 30 of them or whatever the number is. Young kids, little kids, I do the same drill, but I might just give them a mark and say, okay, you're going to do 10 of these and let's see how far you can get. So those types of drills you can do any damn way you want, right? If it's punishment, you know, we might do a little bit more. We might go from foul pole to foul pole across the field. I don't know. You know, I'm not nearly as much of a jerk as I used to be, but it's still in me, okay? So, in general, those are our heavy days. and they don't like them, and we don't do them all the time. And if we got a game the next day, it just depends on where we are. If we've got a game the next day and we haven't done a heavy day in a while, we're probably going to get to that again. Okay? So our light days, and these are more, this has more to do with hands and feet and, maybe receiving stuff. The receiving deal is where really things have changed, right? And so I'll get a kid and I'll say, okay, what do you do? Because I came from, I wanted to show everything out front. And so the way I was taught, it made all the sense in the world, right? Umpires, they're not real good, right? And so if you're at 5A, they're probably better than 4A, and they're probably better than 3A and 2A and 1A and so on and so forth. Depends on your location too, right? You might have some good ones right there that want to come to your place all the time and whatnot. So I was always taught, let them see where it is. Boom, 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 everything there. Okay? Now what does the majority of people do? Everybody's funneling in, right? Or everybody's lifting up. I just had this with a kid who I was working with. He said, hey, Coach, I'm off at college. I'm home for a break. Can you work me out one day? I said, yeah. And I said, well, you got to tell me what you're doing now, because I taught you for, 6 years to do this. What are you doing? Well, this is what we do, and I really don't like it. And I said, okay, well, the hell you want me to do? That's your college coach. I'm just some dude that, knows somebody, and now I've worked with him. And so, for me now, I'm going to ask them. If they don't have a clue, which most of our guys don't, I'm going to teach them. And we don't receive a ton. We don't work on it very much. When we do a similar deal that we do with the blocking, when I'm going to end up getting pretty damn close, and now I'm really letting it rip, because it's not a block, it's a receive, and hopefully I got enough wherewithal to not throw it in the dirt, but I'm really letting it rip and see what they can do. I want them to stop the ball, me personally, okay, because what I think is this creates a lot of this, and the ball's just going out of the zone. We're not college guys, right? Even in college, and big leagues, hell, they ain't moving from sitting down there at all, right? If it's over there, hell, somebody else probably needs to come in and pitch if that guy can't throw a strike. In high school, there's no telling where the hell the ball's going. And so, you got to be pretty much on your toes with the whole thing. And this, in high school, it might be a damn strike, right? This in college might be a ball, it might not. I've seen bad college umpires too. This in the pros, hell no, they ain't happening. So I think personally that there are different things, just like launch angle stuff. If you're a launch angle guy, hey, more power to you. We got two dudes, but usually we don't have guys as my coaches used to say, that can hit it, pick it up, hit it again, and get it out of the damn ballpark. Well, we got a lot of tiny kids. We got two dudes who are pretty damn big. But other than those two dudes, and if those two dudes launch angle it and hit it out of the park, I'm happy as hell. If they launch angle it and fly out to center field, I'm mad as hell. So, you pick your poison on how often you want me to be pissed off at you. Okay? So, for me, it's similar to that, right? You got those big old donkeys in the big leagues, and I seen that dude from Dutch Fork that was a couple years ago, that black fella that was, God almighty, he scared the hell out of me. He was so big. I saw that guy and prayed to God we didn't have to play him. Those guys can lift the ball out of the park, right? Receiving in high school, I can steal a bunch of strikes if I'm worth a damn. And if I show a guy, boom, there it is. So, I get mad. This drives me crazy because this is, I'm not strong enough. That's all that is to me. Get your ass in the weight room, and we get after it pretty hard in the weight room. But you need to be strong enough to not let this ball go like that. This I hate, absolutely hate, drives me crazy. Because if you're standing behind that, and you see that, it looks like a ball. If I catch it right there, this I get. I do get. But now everything, you're trying to make a strike, right? A good umpire, and you go, boom, that's what we did when I was young, right? Pulled it all. You go like that, and if that guy is worth his salt, he's going, hey, quit showing me up. Quit trying to do that. I'm going to call them all the ball if you don't stop doing that. You know, I got all the respect in the world for a guy back there that does that. If he goes, boom, strike, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? You know? But if he goes, boom, and he goes strike, and I say, okay, I can live with that. I can live with that as long as it's consistent, right? So that's what I'm trying to teach our guys. I don't like this or this, either one. Why? Damn, how many of you had catchers that did something there, broke something, there were a lot of tiny bones in there, and I said, what the hell happened? Well, I went like this, or I went like that, and they're either not developed or strong enough, or name it. I don't teach that. I try to get this behind the ball all the time. And so I was taught a long time ago is you give your target, right, and you quarter turn to get the fat of your hand behind the ball all the time. And so I still teach them that. Do I go crazy over it if they do that? No. But I just tell them, you know, if you come up hurt, you know, I'm just telling you I don't like that. The kid that I was working with, you know, over Christmas break, they turned everything in. And so he just wasn't comfortable doing that. And so they don't have that same coach anymore. And so I said, hey, do what the hell's comfortable to you. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. You know, I went to Georgia Southern 2 years. I don't remember a whole hell of a lot of it. That's why I transferred to the Citadel. But they changed every single thing I did as a hitter, and I was a pretty good hitter in high school. I got to Georgia Southern. They changed everything, and I was never comfortable. Went to the Citadel. I don't remember them ever trying to do anything. I still hit about 250, so take that, you know, for what it's worth. But I was never uncomfortable. That's what I was, right? A comfortable 250 hitter. And so for our guys, catching-wise, I want them to be comfortable. The only thing I'm going to ever really tell them to do is to get as low as they possibly can. Okay, in any drill that we do, I'm trying to lower our guys and get their butt as low as they possibly can. Because what's the first thing that happens? Damn, I hope my knees don't give out on me. They get down here, and they're like, okay, there's a man on, and they go, oh, damn, you're a catcher? How the hell are you going to catch and get... I don't know how this guy can get that strike. Because it looks bad. It looks low, right? It looks down right away. So I'm telling them to get down there, and we don't have a man-on, no-man-on stance, you know, like they used to do. Everything looks the same for us. Now, if a guy goes, well, coach, there's nobody on, there's less than 2 outs, less than 2 strikes, excuse me, and I want to go down to a knee. I'm not going to say a word to him. If he's comfortable like that, that's fine. 2 strikes, your ass better not be on a knee, because if you miss strike 3 in the dirt, I'm pretty damn mad. Okay? That's just me. I don't think you can function out of that stance, a high school kid, an average high school kid, out of that one knee stance to make that play over there in numerous ways. I just don't think you can do it. So I just want our guys to be low. Be low. I get young kids that I work with, and I got 3 catchers. None of them will come to Bishop England that I'll work with tomorrow afternoon, and that's my biggest focus on them is trying to get low, trying to get low, trying to get low. Okay? So from a receiving standpoint, that's about what we do. Throwing balls in. I'll talk more than anything else. Throwing, we work a lot on throwing, a ton on throwing, because I'm a huge believer in controlling the running game, because we like to run when we can. And, you know, I just think that if you can control the running game in high school, you have eliminated a huge part of somebody's offense. Because, let's be honest, the majority of us don't have a bunch of dudes who are just going to drive the ball in the gap. It just ain't going to happen. You know, you might be fortunate and have that come through your program, and if it is, and it's consistent, good for you. We don't. We might have 1 or 2 of them every now and again. And I like to bunt all the damn time, and so those guys are probably going to bunt anyways, and we're just trying to run all over the place if we can. So I want us to control the running game. So the dude that was the wrestler at the Citadel, who's a sergeant in Hawaii now in the Army, he was horrible. So I'm telling you, horrible. And he started an entire year for us catching. Horrible. We took him from a 2.7 down to a 2.1, could get in the 2.0, top 2.0s sometimes. We went to playoffs and we were going, oh my God, what are we going to do? We got to change catchers. because we have done that in the past. We let a guy catch all year, and then we're like, well, he can't catch in the playoffs. Why not? Because I don't think he can control the running game, so we got to get a guy back there. The guy that's at Citadel right now catching for them was our starting shortstop. And we got to the playoffs, and we didn't think we could control the running game, so we put him behind the plate, and he never left. And you know, he's an invited walk-on at Citadel and shit. He started, 30-something games for him last year because he could control the running game. And so we're going to work so much on the mechanics of throwing, and we're going to throw so often that we are going to control the running game. Now, what time am I till? 30-ish? Yeah. So this is so that doesn't happen. That's the other one that I'm pissed about. And I'm probably more pissed about that than anything. And you could miss 5-hole 20 times. If you drop the ball on a guy running, I am probably, well, my hat goes first. I throw that all the time. The bills are like this on my hats. And then, coolers. I like to punch coolers and kick coolers and stuff like that. I had a real bad temper. I figured, having those 2 daughters would cool that down, but I don't. I've gotten older and gotten better, but certain things piss me off. If the ball ends up right there, I'm really pissed off. Because we can throw guys out. We will throw guys out all the time. I got 100% confidence in that we will throw guys out. Now, the next thing that's going to piss me off is that stupid damn pitcher who takes forever to go to the plate. We work on that all the time. We had a guy who was pretty good, played for us for 6 years, and he's at Clemson now, and we had got on his left-hander too. Worst left-handed move in the world. Huge leg kick. All of it sucked. And we were on his ass all the time. And he goes to Clemson, he comes back, and he goes, I said, so what's going on? He said, well, Coach said I need to work on my move and my time to the plate. No shit, right? Hey, look here. I tell people all the time I might be dumb, but I'm not stupid, and I've been telling you that for, 6 years, and there you go, someone else told you, I need to work on that, Coach, can you work on that with me? Yeah, do the same stuff that we did all the time, just care about it. And so we're going to work that transfer drill so we do not drop the ball. Now, from there, everything's a progression. Every single time we do it. We start ball in hand. I am a big over-exaggerator of anything that I'm teaching. And so we start ball in hand and we just stand just like this and we have 9 spots. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And all I'm going to do is that dude's going to go just like this. And he's going to be ready to throw. He's not going to move his feet. He's going to go, if I tell him 9 spots, and just like Trent was saying, right? Big leagues like those straight lines, he doesn't want a guy coming out. If that guy does not go, and I tell him to put the glove to the back of their ear, it helps me get right there every single time. You get young kids, especially young, weak ones, who will end up right here. And I just correct them every time they do it. And so we're going there. Then we go ball and glove, we do the exact same thing. That bare hand is going to end up right here. The wrestling kid, the Army guy, when I first got him, and I was gone at Cardinal Newman for 4 years and came back to Bishop England, I got him, and he's down in his stance, and there's a runner on, and he's like this, and I said, what in the hell are you doing? And he said, well, if that guy goes, I'm right here. And I said, damn, I love it, but I can't have you look like that. You have got to get back here, and then when you feel that, you get a going call or whatever it is, and you're going to there, I'm good with that, but I can't have you receiving balls with no one going or anything like that, like this. I just can't have you do it, And so we go all the same. And they're in partners. They got real balls now, not those pieces of trash, right? Then they get me, the 2 of us, and I'm trying to hit those 9 spots, right? And they're now receiving. As the ball comes to them, they are here, and as it comes to them, I want them right there. I want them there because we work a transfer drill, right? And so for me, it is this. If I'm transferring here, boom, and I bubble around, it's like that dribble drill, right? It's the same concept. If I go like this, and here, that's it. That's it. If I don't get a good hold on it, I've got to now check up, and I might be shuffling to second. I just believe at this distance to here, I can screw up a little bit and get it out. And this, I got one chance. I got one chance. And we'll do some drills that are just like middle infielder drills, the ones where you redirect the ball into your hand. We'll do that as a drill, but I tell them never do that in a game. And of course they are. That's what people do. Okay? So, from there we add feet. The way that I talk feet is a little bit unrealistic. And so that T drill, if you've done it before, and it's just got, it's got a baseline, it looks just like this, right? So I've got a baseline, and I've got a middle line, and that's where I'm going to end up when I throw. I teach a two-step. 1, 2, and gone is my terminology when they're throwing, and so they are 1, 2, and gone. All right, that's the terminology. What I've moved to doing is I just take, spray paint, and I do this, and then I draw one off of each side. And so I'm trying to get them on that line all the time. Is it realistic? I don't really know. But what I want them to do is if they're going this spot, I want them to step and get straight line. I want everything to look exactly the same. It's easier to teach, in my opinion, for young kids. It's all consistent, right? It's the same thing. So these spots, boom, boom, I'm there. All of these spots. I'm stepping to it. Middle is pretty obvious. I'm stepping to it. The outside, I teach them to jab, step, and go. If we don't throw out, down and away ball's the hardest, right? If we don't throw out middle away, up and away 100% of the time, I'm really pissed off. Because all that is throw and catch, right? If a guy's real damn fast over there, hopefully we've picked off enough or we've been quick enough to the plate that this guy's going to throw guys there. The guy we've got right now, who's not a catcher, has an absolute cannon. Absolute cannon. We're trying to get him out of there so he can pitch because he probably throws the piss out of him. I know he throws the piss out of him. I don't know if he knows where it's going on the mound, but that kid that sits shortstop, if it doesn't work out, he's the catcher anyways. And so now that guy becomes, hopefully a guy that we can get out of the pen. But that guy throws the piss out of him. And so if he gets the ball in his hands and we've given him a chance, he should throw out the majority of the guys that try to run in high school. Okay, in high school. You just don't have a ton of guys that absolutely fly. So from there, we go, let me back up real quick. We do a quick hand, so total control, a little bit less control. No control, they're partnered up with no feet. Right, it's just a quick hands, no feet, just like a middle infielder would do, anything like that. Then we work to using feet as we do it. Our catchers, on our long toss days, so we have a mechanics day and a long toss day. I hated mechanics days. Damn, kids don't even know how to throw anymore. There are a lot of kids that come out there and they don't literally know how to throw with correct mechanics. So Coach Traeger, our pitching coach, does mechanics day every other day. So we're on a long toss day. And they just let it eat as much as they want to let it eat. Then they all come in and they have drills. Well, for catchers, I like game throws, right? And so they're going to go from a standing up position, boom, I got ball in my hand, I got ball in my glove, now I get a dude right there, toss it to me and I throw. Then all of these drills work down to stance, right? All of our up drills work to down drills. So now they're in a stance. They've got the same thing. Ball in my hand, ball in my glove. You flip it to me and I throw. Then we go knees throws. We throw knees throws all the time. And the dude that's at the Citadel threw a handful of guys out from his knees last year. They taught that a lot at the Citadel. Gersh taught them to stay down if it keeps them down. You're dealing with different animals, right? You might not have a guy that can even get the damn ball to second base from his knees. The guy we have right now can. The other ones, I don't know if they can, but they do it. So they're going to do the same thing. And it's not many throws, right? From up to down, that's, if they do one of each, that's, 3, 6, 9 throws, they're done with that portion of it. So it's not, overkill. If they want more, they take more. Right? So that, from us, is pretty much our drill stuff. We do bunt drills and things like that. We do enough bunt defense that I control, that the catchers are going to get work there. I don't like wasting our time going like this and like this and like this. I save that for camp and things like that for younger kids. Our guys, because of how much bunt defense we work during a week, they're going to know how to do it. If they do something incorrectly, I'm not stopping the drill. I'm just talking to the catchers right here and just saying, hey, this is what you need to do for that. So we don't waste is the wrong word, but we don't spend time on that during our drill time. Okay?
That you do, that's your catch your standing.
Yes, so they go from standing, then they go, the next progression is down. Yes. Yeah, 9 spots. They always work 9 spots, and so they know it. We do it so often. And I'll be like, okay, work 9 spots. You're standing, balls in hand, and they know right away. So just like any of you, you have drills where you verbally tell them, and they know exactly what the hell they're doing. So yeah, it's standing, and then it's down. I really try to keep them out of their stance as much as they can. I have to get on Coach Traeger a lot because, I'll go, hey, look here. Man, my son bitch has got to catch 5 games this week or 4 games this week. Let him catch a bullpen today, but take him out for the rest of the week because he's going to catch a lot. That's just a former catcher in me who's standing up right here have numb knees, that's just how it is. And so I'm trying to take the load off of them as much as possible. It's funny because the guy we have right now, he'll come to me, damn, that guy's smart as hell. I just tell him don't forget about us because he'll be making millions one day. And he'll go, you know what, my legs are pretty tired. And I say, damn, really? And he'll say, yeah. And I'll say, all right, shit. Because he's an honest dude. He doesn't have that in him to go, he works his ass off and everything. He doesn't have it in him to go, you know what? I might not want to work today. Let me see if I can go to Coach Darnell and say my legs are tired and see what he says. He just doesn't have that in him. So, he's a good barometer for me to know what I'm doing. But yes, they go from up to down. Now, a couple of things that I want to kind of finish with are how we work our catchers in a regular a group's deal. So these are individual. That's an individual segment, right? And like I said, a lot of it depends on Coach Traeger. So if he's like, I need pitchers, I need to do some PFPs, or I need to do whatever, then I'll work infielders that day because he hits the fungos and it's a progression and nothing hits Coach Traeger or myself. Anybody who can hit some damn fungos and command a group of young men can do the infield stuff that we're doing. Now, it's not going to be done like Trent, and I'm not going to have that much knowledge, but we can take it through. So if he needs something that day with pitchers, then the catchers are free. All our kids play at least 2 positions. A lot of them play 3. They play 2 and pitch for sure. We and some of you guys that are like us, we have 650 people in our school. And I haven't looked. In fact, I thought about the other day, I would assume we've got more females than males. That's just how it goes in what our school is. So we don't get a lot of people. This year might be the largest. Last year was the largest amount of tryout kids that we had in our program, and it was 12. The year before that was 7. The year before that was 5. So we just don't have a lot of kids coming, so we have to, spread them pretty thin. So what we also try to do is inside of our groups, inside of our team defense stuff, get work that the catchers can do without me having to be directly responsible for them. Fly ball communication, every day 5 minutes, they're going to get a lot of it, okay, because we're trying to run people into fences and dugouts and stuff like that. If y'all know our first base coach, Bill, he's hell, man, and he loves trying to, he injured himself, he won't admit it, injured our starting center fielder and probably best player we had a handful of years ago trying to run him into an infielder in fly ball communication. He succeeded, and I'm yelling at him, but we're in a fight at the plate. You just have to know Bill, he don't give a shit. And so we're trying to run guys into walls and stuff like that. So we're getting fly balls there. I used to hit them fly balls in the left field line stuff. On one of those light days, if we've done enough and I've got a little bit of time, I might hit them that. We do a thing called 3-way picks. I absolutely love it. If any of you know Randy Cooper, who I met Randy when he was a coach at the Citadel when I was there, and Coop was helping us for a short period of time, and he said, hey, we do this 3-way picks. And so it gives us the ability as catchers to throw to every bag. We steal and we back pick to every bag. So we will go regular. So we've got a pitcher throwing in the front of the mound, and he's letting it go. And if they don't throw a strike, I'm pissed. So, the first one he goes through, boom. So we start at third. And so the first segment, it's a 15-minute segment, 10-minute segment. He'll go through and they're throwing to third. So they'll go regular. He's down, boom, regular. then I'll go a knees throw, and then I'll try to tell that guy, all right, throw me something in the dirt. I want him to have to, you know, block a ball, come up, and go there. They do that, it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then the next one, they're throwing the first. So they're back pick, up, they're back pick knees, they're blocked ball in the dirt, and they're inside-outside deal, and they're doing that. And then the last segment, they're getting throws to second, same concept, all right? If they get hanging, because a lot of it's determined by the pitchers, because they're picking to first, to third, and to second. If it starts to get hung up a little bit on time, then I'll tell them, okay, work receiving, if their arms start to hang, because they can get a ton done. Because, I mean, we might have 5 guys in our program who aren't pitchers. And so during this drill, every single pitcher comes through, and so it takes a little bit of time. So if they're hanging, they're just going to receive. In that same drill or in another drill, we're going to get plays at the plate. All right, so they're going to get infield plays at the plate, where they've got to go and make a tag and pick balls and block the plate and all that good stuff. They're also going to get outfield throws to the plate. They have the control. Anything that they're not going to get to make a play, you know, if it just doesn't have enough juice on it, all of our people practice together. Man, I don't know how y'all do it at Dutch Fork. I'd be asleep by the time I'll start my varsity practice. That's late as hell. So all of our guys practice together. We're a traditional schedule. So we get out of school at 2:50, the field's set up, and they're stretching at 3:15. And we don't want to all stay there forever, so we're trying our ass off to get in and out with quality work, right? So you got a damn 7th grader in left field, and he goes to throw, and hell, he can barely get to the damn third baseman. Well, that catcher's cutting and either back picking somewhere or a lead guy somewhere. This is with no runners now. There are no runners, so he just has that in him to do whatever the hell he wants anytime. We try to tell them if the throw's going to make it with some juice on it, we want you to receive, catch, and tag. We want to get used to that. We get our infielders and all that used to, you know, faking the cuts and all that stuff, trying to keep people behind. We do situation stuff where now it becomes live, and so you've got to keep track of all those things. But we feel in general that we can cover every single thing that they're going to be a part of by individual period and those group team periods when we get in. Okay? Any questions about any of those things? Feel free. I can answer. I don't have all the answers. I'm like Trent, you know. I mean, hell, there are more than one way to skin a cat, and I've tried to learn that as I've gotten a little bit older and just kind of let guys be comfortable with everything they do. All right, good enough. Hey, good luck to everybody. Safe travels home and all that good stuff. Appreciate it.